Good evening, my friends. This is the Grimflayer. Hope you're doing well. We are back at it with more competitive league action. We took down Is It Phoenix in a 2-1 round one of our freshly started competitive league, and we're back here for round two. We find an opponent right away. I've got a new updated list, so if you have not watched my February Deck Tech update, you can check that out. Link is in the description below to see what we are up to. Now, this is a very, very, very slow opening hand, right? But I have no idea what I need. It's a functional hand. I'm actually inclined to keep it. There are going to be some matchups where it's safe to play Tracker on curve. And if not, we have the turn 4 play of Tracker. I think I'm going to keep this. It's not a very good hand at all, but again, we don't know what we need. It might be enough. We might mull to a non-functional 6. We'll keep it, but we won't be happy about it. And it might just... we might just be advantaged enough from being on the play that it being this slow doesn't really matter. We hope we're not against any kind of an Inquisition or Thoughtseize deck. Looks like we're against Burn. That's also pretty bad in terms of it being too fast. We draw a Thoughtseize, huh? I mean, that's just very awkward, isn't it? Very awkward indeed. I still guess we're supposed to consider casting that because it's... an Eidolon might be fairly unbeatable for us unless we luck out into our Kalitas. Alright, this is going to be a very... Nah, I was going to say, what if we Thoughtseize then play the fetch land? We can filter away the top of our deck using that, but I think we want to not play our fetch land at all this game if we can help it. Yeah, I'm going to Thoughtseize. It's better now than it will be at any other point in the game. Okay, so we see what they've got. They've got a couple Lava Spikes. They've got the Eidolon we're afraid of. Skewer the Critics. Spectacle. New tech. Basically another Lava Spike and a Searing Blaze. So I think we do have to just take the Eidolon here. We're not going to get to strand anything in hand because we're going to have to trophy this Goblin Guide, probably, unless we top deck like a Collective Brutality or a Fatal Push. Hissing Quagmire. Okay, there's some value. Alright, they found the land on their own anyway. So here comes a couple of burn spells, maybe a Skewer, yep. A Skewer and a Suspended Rift Bolt. Another Tireless Tracker, well. That's tempting, but I think we just play the trophy because we cannot take damage again from a creature, basically. And if they draw a land this turn, that's bad for us. Very, very bad for us, so... Plus, like, playing the trophy before we have a creature down is playing around Searing Blaze as best as we can. Okay, Goblin Guide's getting us some good value, but we are very behind. We need to stabilize with some life gain here if possible. Tireless Tracker into land is an okay play, but not going to be enough, it seems. Okay, well, yep, those are the two Lava Spikes we knew about. Collective Brutality. Well, we've got to play that now, for sure. Otherwise, we are just dead to any burn spell. So we escalate it once. We'll pitch our fetch land. You reveal your hand, I drain you for 2. get the Searing Blaze out of their hand, potentially, or we'll see what else they have. Yep, it's a land. Good. Good, good, good. Okay, that's step one. We're still probably going to die, but that was step one. Okay, we need them to flood out pretty hard from here. Dark Confidant, not the best draw I've ever had in this spot, that's for sure. We'll play out our forests. That way, in case we draw Scavenging Ooze, we've got as many green sources as possible. Shouldn't need this game log against Burn. Alright, looks like they might actually be flooding. We might be in with an outside chance. Alright, we are not making the greatest draws of all time, but... So here we want to slow down and think. So we've got 5 lands down, we're going to make a 6th land drop. It could be Treetop, or it could be Tracker. So we definitely want to play a Tracker here this turn, I think, no matter what, because we're going to put them to 11. Then next turn, 4 plus 3 plus 3 is 10, so if we crack a clue between now and next turn, we've got lethal on board next turn. So, yeah, it's got to be Tracker into Treetop Village. If I crack this now... Yeah. I mean, bluffing interaction doesn't do all that much, right? Because I'm just going to take a block on any attacking creature they have no matter what. So we'll crack a clue now. Get that extra point of damage across, even though it shouldn't matter. There's no real reason not to. Okay, now... We're dead to 2 burn spells, but I don't know if they have 1 in hand. If we see them double fetch on the end step, they didn't double fetch, so they're not thinning. 1 card might be Searing Blaze, they scoop it up! Holy moly! I cannot believe we got there. That felt so out of reach early on. That really did. But, you know what? We needed them to flood, and they did flood, and the very slow to get going Tireless Tracker actually puts the game away really quickly once she gets going. So, whew, that was exciting. That was exciting, my friends. I am pleasantly surprised. I think we got a decent dose of luck there that they didn't just top deck a couple burn spells. Maybe they top decked 1. We were at 4. Wasn't enough. So, Dark Confidant, Thoughtseize come out. We probably don't want Lily the Last Hope and Nile Spellbomb either, if we can afford the slots to cut them. Everything else is looking pretty sweet to me. We saw Rakdos. We saw black. I don't think we saw white. We saw Arid Mazes, but that's just a fetch land. It doesn't mean anything. So, yeah, who knows what they've got for sideboard stuff, but these burn lists are all kind of in flux. We're just going to do normal burn sideboarding, I suppose. So, Kitchen Finks, Collective Brutality, these are our best cards. Otherwise, we're looking at bringing in stuff like Engineered Explosives, maybe Maelstrom Pulse, Fulminator Mage is pretty good, but a lot of this other stuff is very mediocre. So, yeah, our cards are so... The cards that are coming out are so bad that I'm pretty happy just putting in all 7 of these, taking out all 6 of these. And do we want Spellbomb or Last Hope? The pros and cons to each. So Spellbomb is a 2-mana draw one. Is that better than Lily the Last Hope? It really might be. A big problem, though, is I actually don't like clearing out their graveyard because it takes away the power of my Skoos, to some degree. then again, maybe Lily the Last Hope is just way too slow, especially on the draw, to do much. Yeah, I think we can afford the one spell bomb. I think that's pretty fine. Maybe on the play we can swap that out for the Last Hope. Like, Last Hope does play some defense. You know, she can in theory shrink an attacking creature, but the problem with that is, like, if we're stabilized on board of the Planeswalker, shrinking the creatures isn't really the problem. It's closing out the game and not getting burned out. We have that spell bomb in our opener. We have the Kitchen Finks, so this is a keep. The land could certainly be better here, but perhaps the top of our deck will provide. Swifty on turn 1. Okay, another forest is not really what we were after, but at least it's going to let us cast these Finks relatively painlessly. They're probably wondering what this Nile Spellbomb is doing in our deck, but such is life. Okay, Eidolon here would be rough. They sure have it. They sure have it. Okay, taking the hit. Lily the Veil. Lily of the Veil. Alright, here comes our mana just back to bite us with this double... with this Overgrown Tomb, really. The double forest isn't that much of an issue. Obviously, we can't cast Lily, but if one of these forests was a swamp, we would actually be in decent shape. Because it's not, we're a little bit under the gun, especially on the draw. But, so if we play our Tomb tapped, I guess it's just the same as taking a hit from the Eidolon, right? But the only problem with that is it's not a mana-efficient turn, so unfortunately, we do have to shock that in, I think, here. Plan to trophy the Eidolon. Very bad, though. Very bad to give them 2 free damage that way. But hopefully, we can stabilize behind our Finks. Bump in the Night. There's the black spice. I do like that card a lot in this deck. Yeah, this is kind of the upside, though, of having to take the line that we've had to take, because they're incentivized to do stuff first main phase. They're going to take a lot of damage from their Eidolon, which is relevant. We're going to get hit for a ton, though. It's very bad. And yeah, I think we still trophy Eidolon here, to be honest. There is a concern for Swift Spear, though, especially because we're going to give them another land here. But look at our hand, it's just all 3 drops. Okay, it doesn't look like we're getting maxed punished. So they didn't have another bolt to add to the train there. Light up the stage. Revealing Skewer the Critics and Bloodstained Mire. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. We are pretty far behind. But we get to play our Kitchen Finks. Is it possible that we make another miraculous stand? I'm similarly pessimistic, but you know, if there's a card that can do it, it might be the old Kitchen Finks. We do have removal for the Swifty. Self-inflicted wound? What on earth? That's some spice out of the black build, if I've ever seen one. Yep. Lose 2 life. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Undoes a lot of our hard work here. We gotta take the block. Gotta chump. Self-inflicted wound. Boy, oh boy. Alright, well. At least we have an out to the Swift Spear coming up. Skoos? Skoos is good. Skoos is good, but we have to kill the Swifty now. And we cannot do it in a mana-efficient way and then crack the Spell Bomb again because we're stuck on 1 black mana, so this is the best play we have, is to pulse it. And hope we don't get punished too hard. They are flooding again. Why would they fetch now? I wonder what that means. What is this? Oh, flashing back Bump in the Night. I did forget about that. To be honest. Well, that's a good way to make use of the flood. No question. We weren't supposed to play Skoos and eat that, though. Then we just get wrecked by the Swift Spear. Another self-inflicted wound. My goodness, that was brutal, guys. That was completely brutal. Well, for a post-sideboard game against Burn, that felt really bad. Those self-inflicted wounds, that flashback Bump in the Night. So, because there is the flashback Bump in the Night, I actually like the Nile Spellbomb now, more than I thought I did. So we'll keep that instead of bringing it out for Lily the Last Hope. Anything else we want to change? I don't think so. I don't think we want to get too cute with more than 1 Spellbomb. It's still not very good. It still has downsides. Everything else is better. Just removal, even if it's clunky, like EE and Pulse. Still better. Alright, we... couple self-inflicted wounds, which is a phrase that I've used before to refer to misplays, but that was the literal card self-inflicted wound. Not one you see every day in Modern, but perhaps one we'll see more going forward. We will take the play. Let's hope for a good hand. This hand is not what I would call good, but I think I like it well enough to keep. It's got a lot. I don't think we should mull it. Turn 1 Inquisition on the play is great. We need to hit like a Blooming Marsh would be perfect sometime in the first couple turns. Hope our opponent takes them all for once. That would be nice, eh? No more self-inflicted wounds, please. That was rough. They're staying at 7, huh? Alright, so they kept a 1-lander, Grim Lavamancer, 3 Lightning Bolts, risk factor, skewer the critics. Alright. Alright. So if we take the Lava Man, Tarmogoyf is immune to Lightning Bolts. The big problem with that is that we're just leaving triple Lightning Bolt in their hand, but maybe we're supposed to just kind of try to race with the Tarmogoyf, and if they get... Ah, man. You know, their hand's super clunky, right? It's super clunky. We can potentially make this risk factor bad, because, like, this stuff is bad because it's a 1-lander. So I don't think we want to give them the Lava Man. I don't know, though. They found another Lava Man. Well, that's great. That's just great. And we find a treetop village, like the worst possible land we could draw, basically. Any other land there, and I'm fine with it. Anything else that produces black, or a basic forest to play our Tarmogoyf. Literally any other land in the deck. Even Field of Ruin is probably a better draw, because then we could at least start attacking their mana at some point. Yep, now they get to get the skewer, and yeah, that's why I wanted to take the creature away, but hey. Okay. Okay, Lily, I see you. I see you. I guess our best play is to just Lily and minus. We're going to get a ton of value out of her no matter what. They're either going to have to point a burn spell at her, or she's going to get her turn in the sun to tick up. Now, the exception to this is if they top deck a haste threat. That would be the worst possible outcome. But otherwise, I think that's the right play. We have to play our Tarmogoyf next turn, basically no matter what, though. We've put that off for a little bit too long, not really through any fault of our own. The land was too awkward to play it on turn 2. Is this a bump in the night? It is. Okay. Fulminator Mage. Okay, you're gonna make a liar out of me, Fulminator. I think we just have to Stone Rain them. So Trophy is gonna be the pitch here. They pitch their risk factor, unsurprisingly. And that's just it for now. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, we have to just pitch our Assassin's Trophy here, but we still might be in a good spot. And unfortunately, we cannot quite attack with a Treetop Village this turn, but alright. Oh, there they go. They're back in it. They're back in it. Okay, they wisely fetch a mountain so we don't have a field target, and they're going to Lava Spike us, sure. Alright, Forest, not a good draw. Not a very good draw at all. However, we are putting in some work. They've got triple Lightning Bolt in hand, down to double. This is intense, guys. This is an intense one. Alright, they did not hit a second land, and we cannot draw anything to save our lives here. But we actually have lethal on board. So if we shock in this Overgrown Tomb, that puts us to 6. That puts us to 6, but it means we've got lethal on board. It means they have to point a burn spell at a Treetop Village to stay alive. So I guess that's just better, right? Oh, God. I don't know anymore, guys. This has been a crazy game. So we definitely animating one Treetop Village. The way this is not better is if, so let's say they just have all bolts or bolt equivalents in hand. They bolt a Treetop here to stay alive. We force them to pitch one bolt here, then next turn they still have... Yeah, there's no way we get punished for this, because they've got 3 bolts in hand. They bolt one Treetop to stay alive this turn. We tick Lily up, they discard another, they're down to 1 bolt. Next turn, they either top deck a second bolt, but they don't have the second land to play it, or they top deck the land, but they don't have the bolt. So yeah, we're gonna go for it. Shock it in. Take the Lily up. Animate. Come across with everything. They've got a bolt of Treetop Village here. Yes. Okay, they're at 2. What have you got? What have you got? What have you got? What have you got? They don't have anything, at least not enough to take us down. It reveals a Goblin Guide and a Lightning Bolt. Let's see if he's still around. We'll show the chat and try to say good game, well played. Or maybe that won't let us. Maybe it won't let us. But that was a good game. That was intense. Oh boy, was that intense. All the way at the ropes on game 1. We stabilize after some very slow stuff with a Collective Brutality getting us out of 1 bolt and we're dead range, taking the Searing Blaze out of their hand, and then we go on the Tireless Tracker and Treetop Village plan and we kill them in like 2 or 3 big chunky swings. Game 2, we actually arguably had one of the best progressions, or the most promising looking starts of all 3 games. And we just got wrecked by Bump in the Night, hitting us and then flashing back, by Self-Inflicted Wound, cleanly playing around our attempts to stabilize with Kitchen Finks and Scavenging Ooze. So game 2 was very frightening, showing the power of the Black Splash. Then here in game 3, our lands were clunky, our treetop villages were clunky, it was Clunk City, but who came through in the end but the treetop villages? I should never have doubted the apes. I should never have doubted the apes. These guys always get it done. Of course, Tarmogoyf, completely incredible there. Liliana of the Veil, the 4th copy, showing up big here, putting in all kinds of work, really punishing them for being stuck on 1 land. And speaking of which, major thank you to the Fulminator Mage, who Stone Rained them into, totally out of the game for 1 turn, and then when they found their 2nd land of the game, they were back onto just 1 land, thanks to the Fulminator. So, definitely was a little bit sketchy to put off the Tarmogoyf for yet another turn when we found that Fulminator, but you know what? I think it paid off. I think it was the right decision. Because we were able to choke them on mana, we were able to leverage Liliana to her absolute fullest capacity. She ticked down, remember, to kill that Grim Lavamancer, and then she ticked all the way up to 5. She got 4 cards out of their hand and a problematic creature off the board. Definite MVP. One final thing I'll say here. Remember when I said in a recent video while we had some downtime, I was like, I am foiling BG out in paper, I'm foiling Golgari in paper, I'm selling the rest of my paper collection to fund it. That was true, but I forgot I'm keeping one other deck, my Edgar Markov Commander deck. I barely play Commander, it's totally casual, I've never bought anything for it that cost, more than $10, but super cool, super fun deck, and I just wanted to tell you guys, I've got this as my basic mountain. I've got all Odyssey basics in my Markov Commander deck. Just like I've got, that is Odyssey. Just like I've got all Onslaught basics here in my Modern deck. So I wanted to compliment the opponent not only on the good games, but on the very, very exquisite taste in basics. So good job to you, Pumpkin Wavy. And good job to us. We advanced to 2-0, guys. These competitive league results keep going our way for now. We're still early on in this league, but holy moly, is this exciting. So, another very narrow, very hard-fought win. You gotta love it. These games are all coming down to the wire. They're all really intense. So rewarding when you win them. So, let's leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what you thought about my decisions here, what you thought about the game in general. And as always, if you want to support my content, I would really appreciate it, and you know what to do. We've got Patreon. Link is in the description below. You can subscribe to the channel. You can like, comment, and share. You know what to do, guys. So thank you so much for watching, and once again, let me know what you think. I look forward to hearing your thoughts, and I look forward to playing more of this league. Perhaps we will be resuming tomorrow afternoon, depending on how the day goes, but we will have to see. Until then, take it easy. Have a great night. I will talk to you soon.